What is up, YouTube? Today we are recreating one of my favorite Bee Gees tracks, Love You Inside Out. Great song. I've heard this song about 1,000,000 times, but I've never actually gone ahead and delved into the ins and outs of the instruments and stuff. So I thought, let's do it today. And while I'm at it, I'll give it a mix and I'll show you some of my favorite plugins and how to kind of achieve that 70s sound from your bedroom. If you want to listen to the original song, I'll link it in the description, but I'm not going to be playing it in this video just because I'll get copyrighted. But yeah, let's start with the drums and the bass, and then we'll layer the instruments over that. Yeah, so if you listen to the drums, I feel like the drummer, he's like hitting the rim a bit on some of the hits. So what I've done is on this kit, which is just the contact kit, I've got the rim shot. And what I might do is layer in another snare sample under that to give it some body. Yeah, that was pretty close. And then I'll just go ahead and do the verse drums. I'm gonna do it right up to the chorus. I'll do the chorus as well. So that's the drums through the chorus. What I'm going to do now is, since I've got them all done, so I'm going to add a snare sample below that cracky rim shot. So I'll load up a drum rack, duplicate this onto this drum rack, and I want to delete all the notes except for the snare, because we just want the snare. And then let's find a snare sample. That one's pretty good. What I might also do is just turn down the rim shot a little bit. And once we mix it later on, it'll sound heavier, but for now, let's just track the whole bass line as well. I haven't learned this yet, so we'll be learning together. I mean, I have played this song before, but I've never learned the bass line note for note, you know? I'm always just making it up because I know the chords. This is always the most annoying part, is trying to get it exactly like the recording. But I'm just gonna mess with it. I'm gonna change it a little bit because it's impossible to play exactly what he's playing just right now. I need hours to learn it properly. But let's just punch into the chorus. That will do, donkey, donkey, donkey. The piano in this song is really interesting. So I think it's going through some kind of chorus amp or chorus pedal or something. But this is what I've got from the plugins I've used here. It's pretty close to the original. If you listen to it, it's pretty bang on. And they're punching that bass line at the end. And there's one little bung note I played. Where is it? And I think the piano comes in the chorus as well, so I'll just punch that in as well. And then the piano riff comes back in here. There's two guitars in the song, so you've got like one on the right channel. I think it's Barry doing like some rhythmic stuff. And then there's one on the left channel doing different stuff. I'm gonna have it running through my chroma console, which I'll show you the settings in a second. But I've got it fairly close. I'm not entirely sure what guitars were used on the recording, but it definitely wasn't an Epiphone Casino. So, I mean, I'm working with what I've got. So the one on the right channel, I think it's got like a phaser on it or something. So I've got the phaser, which is the green one, doing some phasering. And I've got a bit of compression with that sweeten thing. And then this part gets some funky chords. I need a punch in there. The drums threw me off. Something weird happened. That'll do. Maybe I can figure it out. Your bitch is just like honey. And I think he's playing chords in the chorus as well. Yeah, okay, that's guitar one, done. For this one, I'll do a slightly different sound. I think it's a bit more clean, so I'll turn that phaser off, but I'll leave the compressor going. That was close. And I think it's double tracked as well. Yeah, I'll turn that sub octave down a bit. And that's as close as I'm gonna get with the guitars. That's the guitars done. Now let's do those like iconic strings at the start. I've got some ARP Salinas loaded up. I could use real string samples, but I just love the Salina, so let's just use the Salina. Yeah, and then we'll immediately do the other side. And if you listen to the recording after that plays, another string like fades in, like a high string. And then there's another one that does this like You have to listen to the song to hear it. Yeah, those notes. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send that to a delay bus, and the delay like pans like from side to side. That's it. We're going to pan it. I think it starts on the left side and then just goes like kind of right left. That's cool. That's pretty close. And then now I think there's just some strings in the chorus. Yeah, that was pretty good. Okay, that's pretty much everything. Now I'm just gonna add the Rhodes and then we'll give it a mix. The Rhodes in this song has a really nice kind of phasering sound to it. So I'm gonna pull up my nice Rhodes little preset pack. And yeah, this should make it sound nice, hopefully. It's pretty close. Okay, I'm kind of just making stuff up for that part because I don't know exactly what he was playing. And I'm hanging out. Oh, 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 oh. I think the strings come in there as well. Okay, maybe not the flat 9. That'll do. I'll just chuck some Rhodes over the next part and then we'll be done. Yeah. All right, so my phone's being cursed as and won't let me record for some reason. But let's start mixing this nonetheless. Drums first. Let's group these two together. So we've got the snare sample here and then the actual kit on this one. And what I always do is I'll start with just like a bus compressor. All right, so you want it to be just kissing the needle. You don't want it to be like too exaggerated or anything. So make the attack quite slow. Like 10. And then release kind of fast. See, if we exaggerate it, it just slaps a little too hard. So you just want it to be a little bit. And yeah, I'll link these plugins in the description. And then next, I like to chuck it through some like this preamp kind of thing. This is the red discs they were using in Abbey Road. So I changed it to that setting, which is the more 70s style disc. And what I normally do is just give it a little bit of drive. See, if I exaggerate it, you can hear the kick and the hi-hat like gluing together. Just do a little bit. We don't want to thrash it too much. Then I'll just boost the top end a little bit as well. It's quite nice like that. And then next, I'll go through some tape. And the J37 is my favorite. And this will just give it some tape saturation. We don't want to do too much though. What you can do is there's two ways to saturate the signal. You can boost the saturate knob, or you can actually just increase the input, and that will give it some saturation as well. So we'll try both. It's often good. Oh, this gate is pissing me off, bruh. And now I'll turn down the output and boost saturation just so you can hear what it's doing. See, it's quite aggressive if you push it too much. I'll just do this other method where you start increasing the input. Oh, and always turn the bias to +5. That allows more high frequencies to pass through. So it's like a slightly different kind of saturation. That's quite nice. And yeah, what I'll do is I'll turn them off. So that's just dry. And now I'll chuck them on. And next I'll do some K-clip. This wasn't around in the 70s, I don't think, but still, this is nice. So you turn link mode on, change it to crisp, and then just kind of let it clip. See, if I exaggerate it, you can just hear it like just squishing together quite nicely. Yeah, see, if I turn the K-clip off, I'll put it back on. Just kind of glues it together a bit. So that's with everything on. Now I'll turn it off. Now back on. Yeah, and now this is quite an important step as well. I'm going to add a bit of plate reverb. And this is the next plugin that I like. So what I'll do with this is I'll put it into its own group. Click that button, right click, create chain. This kind of gives you like a separate like parallel send. And what I'll do is put an EQ before. See how you can just hear it like kind of shimmering in the background? Still quite long, so it's real quick. Yeah, sick. So those drums are sounding pretty fat now. Let's move on to the bass. If you want a more in-depth tutorial on bass mixing specifically, click on this video up the top there. Just listen out for some harsh frequencies. And yeah, I'll chuck this through a saturator. And yeah, always match the output to the input. And now for some compression. I usually start with a fast attack compressor, like this one is really good, the UAD like 1176. But you don't want to thrash it too much. Yeah, around there is good. And then I'll do the complete opposite. I'll get like a slow attack compressor like this one and run it afterwards. And this has a slower attack, so we'll just even out the sound. And then we'll chuck it through some R-Bass. This is a great plugin. And like I was saying before, if you want to get any of these plugins, click the links in the description. And these Waves ones, which I really like, it'll actually help me out if you use those links, because I'm actually an affiliate now. But yeah, I'll just do like a tiny bit of R-Bass. That's with it on. Then if I turn it off, see, it just adds a nice, bit of nice low stuff. And then I'll just do some more saturation, but for this I'll use Saturn, and I'll just split the bands and give it a bit of a push in the mid frequencies with some clean tape. Alright, now let's mix the guitars. I can just group them together, and I'll just take out the low end, give it some top end. Listen for stuff where it's clashing with the bass as well. Like around there. Just sounds kind of muddy and gross there. Yeah, that's nice. And then I'll give it some fast compression with this 1176 thing. I'm going to compress it quite a lot. Yeah, that's quite nice. And yeah, I want to send it to some reverb as well. So I normally put my reverb send as like bus A or whatever. And I'll put multiple instruments into this bus so they kind of all mash together in a nice way. And what I'll do right now as well is send the Rhodes there as well. Just kind of give it a nice kind of washy, reverby sound. Yeah, sweet. And now I've got these guitars in the chorus. Yeah, I can heaps of reverb on this one. Maybe a little bit less of that sub-octave. And I kind of want to spread them out a bit. Do that kind of stereo trick with the J37 that I've done in previous videos, where you turn it to send return, bring these right down, but just slightly change one of the channels. So I might just do 10 and 20, just because that's kind of a satisfying number. But what I actually reckon is we'll leave it on insert so we get it in the middle as well, but we'll just get a little bit on the sides. Like that. That's nice. And now for the Salinas. Yeah, just send some to the reverb, and yeah, I think I've already EQ'd them, yeah, on the actual tracks. Just a simple EQ, glue compress them. Just a little bit. And one saturator I like to use for the ARP Salina is the Abbey Road saturator. I don't know why, but this just sounds quite nice. But it can be quite harsh, so you got to tame it a bit. Let's just listen. See, that's too much, so we'll just dial it down a bit. See, that just gives it quite a nice sizzle in the top. And in the chorus as well. I've already mixed the piano, like I was saying before. I spent quite a while trying to match it to the real recording. So that's all good. Salina's sounding good. Rhodes, I've already put that kind of preset on it, and I've sent some to the reverb, which is good. And now on the main like master chain. Let's just use the SSL just to glue it together a bit, and then we'll chuck it through some tape, but we'll use a different tape machine for this. All right, so slow attack, fast release. We'll just turn the analog on because it's the 70s, baby. Okay, so this is with it off, and now turn it on. Yeah, it's just glued together quite nicely. And the final step will be the Kramer tape. I find this one's a bit different to the J37. It's a bit more subtle. You know, it's not as aggressive, which is good. So we'll just chuck a bit of that on. Off. On. Yeah, just gives it a nice kind of tapey feel. Yeah, sweet. I reckon that's a good little mix. And yeah, hopefully you've learned some kind of 70s tricks. I mean, I wasn't even around in the 70s, to be honest. I was definitely not. But this is kind of how I interpret doing the quote-unquote 70s kind of sound from your bedroom with plugins. This is kind of the closest I'll get. But I reckon this is pretty close to the recording. I mean, obviously, I don't have a tape machine and a bunch of studio musicians and a real drum kit. But considering I don't have that, I reckon it's pretty close. So let's have a quick little listen through, I reckon. And yeah, just pretend I'm singing some Barry Gibb vocals over this as well.